Everybody got it?
Yes.
There are no motor graders out. We're not hauling rock. We have several crews cutting down on the old, in the south part of the county, cutting stumps around Shambaugh, the old pavement cleaning up there. Also on Q south of 270th Street. And further south on Q near J64, 310th Street. Piling up there. The hoe with the shear was out in front, so it was setting yesterday while we catch up. Island cleaning up. Next work on trees will be going west along the bottom of the county, and I did have a crew last week and yesterday working on A20 bridge, the bridge that was repaired northwest of College Springs. The crew tells me that should be open tomorrow morning. There's a few pieces of equipment at the shop being worked on, a couple of services. The wheel loader, one of the tandems of the pickup, waiting on some air valves for the equipment trailer. We do have the truck tractor back from 24. And we're going through starting all the trucks to make sure they're gonna start if we need them. The motor grader also. Bridge construction continues on the Essex West Bridge and the bridge on 280th. Here's a photograph from Essex West. That's it. Yesterday, they placed concrete in the footing of the east pier of the Essex Bridge. Tomorrow they intend to pound piling in the west pier and place concrete in the stem of the east pier. That bridge is coming along very well. We'll be out of it. If construction continues the pace that it is now, we'll be out of the river by the end of the month. And that's important in view of should we have spring rains and the river rise, we'll be out of the river. They're excavating around for the encasements on the piling at the 280th Street Bridge. Should be placing some concrete there tomorrow. It says it. I'm still working on the raise grant for the Essex North Bridge. I have training tomorrow in Denison for federal aid. We're statewide, we're back to federal aid projects instead of a swap because of the increased funding the DOT got. They don't have primary money to send to the counties. They're using it as match for all their federal money. I did send a letter to Invenergy on Saturday via email. I haven't got a response on that yet. Probably put some part in the mail. And I'm inquiring about with the board is, are you making progress on finding some zoning members for that planning and zoning board?
I had a question on that.
Yeah.
Who's currently on there?
I've got a list here, I think.
Oh, okay.
There's
I could go through the JD.
I've got a couple of them in my mind, but Marty Mathis,
Where's that?
you got over by Shenandoah, you
Here it is. Who is it that is going off? Is it Elaine,
Lane's off,
Richardson, and who else was on that list?
Royer, and
I can,
can I come over and see the list? I can tell you.
yeah, here's the list. There. Three of them that are not coming back.
Carlson is on, Craig Harris, Marty Mathis, and Linda Meyer.
Okay, who's off?
Royer, Sampson, and Elaine Christensen.
Okay. My, that is old. Okay.
Questions for me with the update? Thank you.
Okay. All right, up next we have H County Fair Board. You guys came and give us an update.
Thank you.
Morning, I'm Jason Whitmus, Page County Fair Board Manager.
Brett Hertzberg, Page County Fair Board President.
This morning we brought our copy of our budget, approved budget by the Fair Board. Got a few projects down at the fairgrounds we'd like to work on this year. Main thing still is in the hog barn, new pens in the hog barn. Possibly developing a camping area at the fairgrounds for a week of fair camping, parents and whatever, and then also they'd be open the rest of the year. Any baseball parents or anything like that may want to use it, or construction, folk, whatever, but another source of revenue for us, convenience for our 4-H families, but other than that, we've got fundraisers coming, the golf tournament. Got one coming up in a couple weeks, the Pizza and Puzzle Challenge. That put together a puzzle, eat a pizza and whatever time to that. Possibly a bowling tournament, we'll have other stuff throughout the year. Of course, the events at the fair, the week of fair too.
Well,
The other paper there that I presented you with, up at the state fair meeting this December, they released us a listing of all county funding. We are very appreciative of what the county does for us. We just want to be transparent and pass it along to you guys as well.
Okay. Well, this is on our. We fund this from local option sales tax, right? Okay. Coming from Missouri, I think we have quite a fair in Page County.
Thanks.
It's excellent. That's geared towards the kids. And the animals,
Yeah,
which is wonderful.
yeah,
That's my best fair I've been to, so. I think you're doing an excellent job.
thank you.
I don't know on the, as far as the budget goes, the situation, so. Ask anybody this, are you asking for more, or are you happy where you are, or? I don't know if we have any more money.
Probably better, no,
Probably
like
not.
Greg said, we're,
So we've already had, we appreciate what you do.
Right,
sure.
A little bit more always.
Right, we'll always help.
We have it budgeted for the same amount, so
yeah. What is that amount? on that sheet?
16.5.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, wow. Well, always things like this, if we look at things, if there's a way to squeeze things out, this would be a good place to put something. We'll just have to see how it ends up
Sure.
in the budget. We're committed to the 16.5 again, so
Thank you.
at least be that much. But thank you for coming here.
Any questions for us?
You got any questions, Judy?
I don't, so thank you.
Thank you.
You did a good job.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Oh. Okay. We have a personal comment on Zoom. Bill Williams. Oh. Guy wants to get a public comment. This microphone's not working. He would like to know if the board will now. Read that. I would like to know what the board will do now that the frivolous lawsuit restricting wind development has been thrown out. That's just a question you'd like read out loud, so there you go. All right. Okay. Next item up is Clarinda Economic Development. Amy McQueen. Thank
How
you.
about soil and water?
Oh, I skipped that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Right here, I didn't see it, maybe. Or maybe run them pretty quick here. You can, or talk to them. Either way. Okay.
Oh, yeah, good, thanks.
Thank you. Right. We're ready, if you're ready. Okay, soil and water district update.
Yeah, I'm Curtis Davis, and I'm president of Soil and Water. And we'd like to have your continued support in another year with, we project with the county on fixing places along the road, like for what dirt washes onto the road. We work on the land above it. Like I said, we'd like to have your continued support for another year. Thank you.
I'm good with that. Who else? Whoever else wants to go next, or any other update, go ahead.
Good morning, I'm Shane, I'm the district conservation here in Lee County. I think we handed out a list there, you can see some of the accomplishments that we've had over this year. We actually had our biggest ever crop get this year, or last year actually, through our staffing. We were just shy of 12,000 acres cover crop that was able to apply. The seed time that we can get a cover crop on, we're seeing anywhere from 1 to 2 tons of soil saved, as it's holding the soil there in place. Along with that benefits, you know, you got your soil health, that helps with that. Cost share wise, we have in there that we did roughly around $400,000 worth of state cost share, 114,000 feet of terraces. We got in 4 summer incentive projects that we was able to focus on, and then 4 grade state structures. Along with a lot of those projects, we use the low interest loan funding that we can do through our office. And the good part about that is it actually works with the local bank that we already work with. So we've got good working relationships with the local banks for doing that. Projected this year, we'll receive about the same amount of money. They're doing cost share work. And we're hoping to pick up a few more grade state structures this year as compared to what we've done in the past, and maybe potentially anywhere from 10 to 15 structures. A lot of these provide a lot of great conservation practices that help the farmer, the producer, the taxpayer. You know, we cover a lot. We stop a lot of soil that makes it into their road ditches onto the neighbors. And I know you've supported SWCD in the past years since I've been here, since 2012. That's been greatly appreciated, and if you're able to do it again, I know they'd appreciate it too.
Thank you, Shane.
And it's again budgeted for $5,000.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else wants to give an update from that? Anything else? Well, I use a lot of these things you're talking about myself, so I understand it. That's a good thing. Keep flood around the ditches and everywhere else and fixes roads, so it's a good thing. I'm happy to support it, so where we are. Thank you guys for all you do and all the volunteer work and everything else. Really appreciate it. It's a good thing, everything comes together to make everything work. So, thank you, and do you have anything?
No, thank you for all
Thank
your
you,
work.
guys. You do a good job.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming in here this morning. Take the time to come in here. Okay. Next up is Amy. All kinds of good stuff here.
Good morning, I'm Amy McLean. I am the Executive Director for the Clarinda Economic Development Corporation. On behalf of the Board of Directors and myself, I would like to thank Page County for its continued support of the Economic Development Corporation. 2022 was a very busy year for CEDC. We were again able to complete and exceed a lot of the goals that were set. The Clarinda Housing Program was an important program again in 2022. The third home was completed and sold prior to its completion. A contractor has been found to continue with the workforce housing program in conjunction with CEDC. There's another house under construction and plans are being made to construct 2 more in 2023. 3 lots were received by the city and we look forward to completing this program, continuing this program. Conversations regarding multifamily housing are continuing. CEDC co-sponsored with Grandma's House Daycare, the Rural Child Care Market Study Grant through Iowa Economic Development Authority. We have continued the grassroots effort surrounding broadband expansion in coordination with other regional economic development directors. We continue to have conversations with local and state leaders about workforce shortage, as well as bringing our young people back to Clarinda. We were able to assist businesses with expansion and locations within the city. We will continue the talks with the state and national leaders regarding a reuse for the MHI facility. We have increased our stakeholders in 2022 and intend to continue to grow our stakeholder base. We also increased our board membership, having filled all of our allowed board positions. Clarinda Economic Development is an active member of Professional Developers of Iowa, National Rural Economic Development Association, Iowa Western Small Business Development Board, and SEAM Advisory Council. We attended that Rural Iowa Summit, Iowa Leadership Exchange, and NREDA Regional Meeting and PBI Fall Conference. Our goals for 2023 are very similar to our accomplishments in 2022 and will accentuate what we have already achieved. We will continue to work closely with our industry leaders and to retain their business, listening to what their employees need, such as housing, daycare, and broadband. Another goal is to identify and create a plan for a new industrial/business park. Economic development work is never really complete. It ebbs and flows with the needs of our community and our industries and businesses. CEDC is very grateful for the partnership and support we have with our county and its leaders and look forward to continuing that partnership for many years to come. Thank you. Thanks.
All right.
And I had set the annual report with that request, so I don't know, do you pass that along to Melissa or I can
Did
email
not
it to her?
forward that. I'll report, yes, I did forward that on,
Okay,
but again, more things happening around us to make this whole thing work.
yes,
I appreciate it.
thank you.
And again, it's budgeted for 7,500.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
All works together. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, I put this on here, just the boiler update, just to talk about it for a minute. I received another. Here somewhere. Yeah, it's here a couple weeks ago on the boilers. He emailed me. I talked to him on the phone several times trying to get him to iron that out a little bit, and he did. I have, here's the bed here, like a bed. It's basically the same, if you go to the back page, it's the exact same equipment, exact same everything. It's came down a little over $30,000 since it came on the 10th. So that was, it was $239, I think so. Anyway, I did have somebody reach out to me. I gotta get back with them. That's local, that has worked with a lot of maintenance for schools and things, and boilers, and had a lot of suggestions. I was gonna talk with them for a minute, see if there's any other situation to look at. I'm happy to say that where we stand today is better than we were a couple weeks ago. We've got a better situation.
It was 230,000 before.
39,
Okay, now it's 280. Okay.
yeah. So,
208-17359.
yeah, I can forward, it's not that, pregnant, but, I can forward that on, but it, and, he said if there's another brand of boiler that we had recommended or somebody that has got a good recommendation there, this guy Siemens said they would be happy to work with that brand also and still be the person over top of it. So I need to reach out to this local person to contact him and figure he had all kinds of suggestions on this. He's worked with maintenance in different big buildings, so I thought I'd at least get some more information, but we have a good proposal there. He just sent that, so,
Okay, you have it on email?
yes, forward it all out, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
There's where we are there. That's just kind of an update of what's happening. So we're
Okay.
still moving along with boilers. To make a plan. I just threw on the next item, the fiscal year budget. I just threw that on there just in case anything else we talk about, because I didn't have that the other night.
I don't think so. Yeah.
The some of the situation, salaries and different things that needed resolved. When does the budget, I guess, the final overview of that page that shows all the totals where we are with the levies and all those things, when does that get updated? Is it the new big sheet, that big sheet that shows us the new book here, the big long sheet that shows the levy rate and all that stuff, you know what I'm talking about? It didn't change at all.
Do you have the new pages for the things that we changed the other day? Okay. So basically, we changed the one in public health and just a few other items, I think.
I don't know if it changed the ask,
Yeah, it was pretty minimal.
I also have an email here, I don't know if I have that with me, and I forward that if you guys didn't get it, I don't know if you did get it. I can't remember the abbreviation, but it's basically another insurance company wanting to bid our health insurance. I can't, it sounds like ICAP, but it's a Herald. Just somebody else wanting to bid on it. Might be for next year, then I don't know, I have some information on that. Somebody sent me an email, but
We've been with ISAC insurance for years and years, and they've always done well for us.
I'll forward that on, because I'm not exactly sure what it all was, I'll look at it.
We've had multiple reach out over the years and
Mhm.
we've just,
Did they bid it, did they ever bid it?
we have for years, because years ago, Judy, you could speak on this, they got out of ISAC and then they had to pay significant to get
Yes.
back in. And, we've just found that with being with, because I think we're over 22 or 24 counties, we've just found consistently that our rates have been, and we've had other counties that have chosen to leave ISAC and
And then try to
then
come
they
back.
get promised a huge decrease and they get it that first year, and then the next year they jump 30 to 40%, and so, they've just found, some of them have found that it's not as sometimes with good insurance and also too, the cost savings is they have 1 year, but then it doesn't continue.
Right.
That's what we found a number of times, and it's happened to a number of the counties that have jumped out and then come back in. So I think they do a really good job of getting the rates as low as they can, as well as providing, yes, with all the counties.
Benefit from that, working with all.
Mhm.
Well, they should have an easy time winning a bid then, if they're always the best, or whatever. I know a 1 year bid can fool you, I understand that, they can get you
It
next
can
year.
definitely fool you,
Ah.
yes, because it went down, I mean, the times that we've done it, or other counties have done it, as Melissa says, it's gone way down, and then the next week it's gone way up, or the next year.
They're fishing.
So it's just kind of a waste of
There's
time.
70-some counties doing something else, so.
Yeah. Some of them are self-funded, which I don't think we want to get into.
Yeah. Well, that's just something, just interesting, and I know insurance is one of our biggest bills. Just some more information.
And it always will be.
Right. Every few years, I have to do a little renegotiating my own insurance company on things, and all kinds of insurance. To keep them from, when you're there too long, they just start creeping up, because it's the same in the reverse. They start taking advantage of you never looking. So a little bit of looking sometimes, kind of like boilers.
And ISAC is a partner with, or they changed the name, but since they've done that, they've been really proactive on our rates, as well as really looking at not just that, but combining things at different times. And so with being able to, we've seen some cost savings in that perspective too, that, they've done a good job of making sure they're constantly being competitive too.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the next thing is all these boards, but the guy that has all the boards we need to swap from is not here. So, I'm fine with, like I said last week, taking that one, I'll be up there anyway, and I can take more too, but I don't know, just wait another week till he's here, because I don't know what, I don't wanna move anything around he wants to do, or has some kind of interest in, so it's kind of, I have to wait a week, I guess, I don't know, on those, have to keep going in. I think, I was gonna make a table, and I got done with all three of us and every board, so we could just see who we're swapping, to see where we kind of end up with about, and then how often they meet is another big deal.
That's the other thing.
We gotta figure out if they're once a quarter, once a month, because I don't know anything other than.
Do you have any idea on that, Melissa, how often they meet?
She just run outside.
If we could just get some kind of if they're monthly, quarterly, yearly, because that makes a big difference. The monthly ones, we each have a few of them, and then a quarterly one, and so it spreads out nice.
I'll try to do a little research on that.
Yeah, that'd be good. We'll have a little spreadsheet. I'm very pleased with the boards I have as far as I'm just getting my 2 years of understanding on them, getting a voice on them, so I'm
Mhm.
happy where I'm at, and I'll take some more. If need more to spread it out. Okay,
So next week
we'll get
talk
that
about
solved
this.
next week. We gotta get that done.
Okay,
So. Next thing is, in our board communication. Yes, that's where we are now. Couple things I had, just to start thinking about, now the budget's winding down here. I really want to start maybe next week, I'll probably put on the agenda. And maybe we'll start a little earlier in the day, if anybody wants to come. Our wind ordinance, we put a moratorium in place, and to fix that, and get it amended, and we need to start doing like get out all the ones that we like, and any ideas we talked about over the last few years, and start going through discussion on the wind ordinance the next, however long it takes to start working on it, getting that done and getting it finished. And then, the carbon pipeline up there, I went to Isaac to hear what they had to say,
Mhm.
and, I haven't got a chance to dig into it, but what I got out of it was that, the Shelby County Supervisor talked, and several people talked on both sides, and he's the one that was behind with Hayward Community crafting an ordinance to give some parameters to the carbon pipeline. And he talked a lot about, our zoning, which we do have zoning, in our industrial things. We need to go over our zoning and see what it says. It might already have things in there. So we need to go over our, I think it was passed in 2008, our zoning in Page County. And that might be the place to start with, checking that out, what it says, what our rules already are, and our, so we need to kind of dig into that, so maybe next week we'll kind of take a minute, and look at our zoning, ordinance we have in place, and see how it talks about things like a pipeline, and what our, I think there's a mission statement that goes along with it, we can read that, and he kind of spelled that out, and they've done a lot of work with these other counties to craft something that's sensible. So it's just something we need to maybe start looking at here pretty soon.
And I did look at the Shelby County ordinance, and there's a lot of things that we need to look at, like the comprehensive plan,
That's-
our ordinance and different things that
Right,
we currently have in place for Page County.
we need to study those versus this, that's what he said.
Yeah, and there's a lot in here, and it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I kind of quit reading after a while.
I know. They had it kind of summarized to the main, there's a lot of legal words in there, but the main, like the setbacks and different things we're going after. But that comprehensive plan that's attached to our zoning is where we got to start. That's what I got from it. We got to look at what we have in place and see if that. He gave the code section to have a little wrote down in another notebook where it does give us the right in our zoning comprehensive plan, I think, to adjust things in there. So we might have to ask for some legal help on that too.
I'm sure we will.
When we get
because,
to
Yeah,
start brainstorming and get some legal help, make sure we do it right, completely right.
and as far as I know, I don't know whether the comprehensive plan has been brought up to date, but it was probably done about the same time as
Oh, wait. yeah.
Shelby's. It was in
Oh,
2008.
I don't know
No,
about
the
that.
comprehensive plan.
I know the ordinance.
I think it was done in 98, so ours was probably done about the same time,
Yeah.
because, Slipco would have done that, yes.
So we'll go back to those. I thought maybe next week we would maybe print off all that stuff and have something on the agenda. We can just make some conversation.
It's gonna take a lot more than just the board to look at that. and,
Yeah, well, we gotta get help on
Understand it. And I've been talking to or a person talked to me, a county resident who owns land in the northern part of Iowa, who has, the carbon pipeline running through. And he had some, dealings with the people and made some demands, and those were accepted. And so he might be a good resource
Yeah,
for us to talk to, or for him to come in and talk to us, because he's been through it.
so it's probably gonna take a while, but we've gotta start thinking, whatever, if we wanna do something, we gotta hear the options and see what they are, and make sure we do it really right.
Right.
So that's just something, we gotta look at this comprehensive plan, one of the main things I got out of it, and see what ours says, so. The other thing I had was this letter here, which I talked about a minute ago. I just want to understand completely what this was.
Well, that's just saying that, we're hiring
Agreeing to an audit.
the state, to do our audit. And I would, highly recommend that we go with the state audit. They do a really deep dive and look at everything for the county to make sure that we're doing it right. And, when I was here, I hate to keep going back to that, but
What are we talking
but they
about?
were-
Just say what it is,
Oh,
a letter?
a letter from the state auditor, that we're agreed that we've asked them to do our audit for the year. They are a great resource for all of the elected officials and department heads when we need help. And, you know, you can call and ask for help anytime, and they also come and, when they do the audit, and tell you if you're doing something wrong, if you're doing something right, and I think we need to stick with the state audit.
Okay. Well, I have no problem.
Any
with state
comments?
audit. So that's just what,
No.
we're gonna sign, we're just going
Yeah.
to do it, so
Yeah.
the state will perform our audit. Okay, that's my communication, what I had.
And we
So-
have, Farm Bureau meeting Thursday night,
Well,
right?
that's this Thursday. Okay, now.
Yeah,
And then I had something else that, I didn't get this email and put it on the agenda, right? I didn't, missed enough thing, but we're gonna have to put it on maybe in March. This appointing another member, got a letter here
with the surf.
to surface, so we'll get that done at the next meeting, whenever she asked.
Okay.
We'll get that done, but that's just coming up here. So, do you have any other?
I do not have
board
anything.
communication? Claims, we didn't have any claims, actual claims to pay, right? I
Right,
didn't see any. Okay, with the minutes, on that, Todd's not here today, he's in a training. So, last week we talked about this quite extensively. I've done some work on it, but I just soon wait until he's back and we can look at our minute format. Maybe next week, get that done. Get something solved.
sounds good.
Okay, so we'll just table the minutes till next week. And looky here, we're about done, so. I guess now we're to adjourn. I hear a motion to adjourn,
I so moved.
I'll second that, all those in favor?
I.
Aye, we're adjourned, thank you.